Hello fellow Earthlings, it's Liz, and today I'm going to be doing my January TBR. I read 10 books this month. I've literally never done that before. I'm kind of a little freaked out that instead of doing any of the study I was meant to do, actually, you know what, I am on top of things, so that's a lie. I don't know how I did this then. I haven't neglected things. Let's crack on into it. There's still a few more days of the month left, so I might read a couple. I won't. Maybe one more book, possibly. We'll see. Maybe I'll hold off on finishing it until next month just so that I can keep this roll going. How are we feeling about the purple hair? I think this will be my first video that I post with it. How are we feeling? It's kind of mostly washed out at the back, but it's still kind of in the blonde bits and slightly tinted. It looks way better in actual daylight than it does the rest of the time where it looks like it's washed out. Although it's been like 2 weeks and purple is still just like everywhere. I have purple pillowcases to hide the stainage. I cannot wear my hair down with any kind of shirt that's not either black or like a really dark color. I've destroyed a couple grey things already, so this is fun. I'm probably not going to do this again. So I'm going to get up all my stats from the month. I've read 10 books, which means I'm ahead by my reading goal by 5 books. I was hoping to read 70 books this year. I think I'm very, very much on track for that. I've read 1,218 pages. No, that's not right. That's how far ahead of my reading goal I am. I've read 2,993 pages. That's more impressive. Okay. My most read moods are reflective, emotional, and adventurous. And my least read moods are sad and informative. 60% of the books I've read are fast-paced. I'm split pretty even between books that are between 300 and 500 pages and the books that are under 300 pages. And 80% of the books I read this month were fiction and 20% non-fiction. As for genres, my most read were literary, historical, and fantasy. And I think my average rating is 3.94 stars. So let's crack on to the actual books. So I'm not going to talk in detail about all of them because I have a reading vlog coming out in the next week or two where I'll be delving into half of these books in a lot of detail, and I don't want to necessarily spoil everything. So I'm not going to give book ratings unless it's a book I've already talked about or I won't be talking about. And there are quite a few books I didn't give ratings to because that just seemed a bit weird just based on what the book was. So the first book I finished this year was Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides. I read this for my Reading Like Rory Gilmore video, which you can see up here. I recommend watching that for my thoughts. You'll get a lot of thoughts about Dorothy Parker and quite a few thoughts about this book. I did enjoy it overall though. It was a solid book. It's just a long book that probably wouldn't be written today. Then for my pick for the Buzzword Reading Challenge, I read How to Be Both by Ali Smith. I read this month and I barely remember it. I think I made the mistake of reading too many Ali Smith books in quick succession because this just didn't do it for me. It felt like it was trying to figure out what the seasonal quartet was going to be, and it feels like it's trying to do the things from that, but she hasn't figured it out yet, which would make sense. This book came out in 2014, and that was, right, I think the book she published before she started the seasonal quartet, but I would definitely recommend the seasonal quartet over this book. It's kind of mostly about art. You've got this artist from like the maybe Renaissance period, and then you've also got this young girl in modern times, and it's kind of like their stories reflecting off each other. It was fine, but I didn't feel anything. Next, I read a book everyone's going to be very happy I finally read, and that is The Song of Achilles. I'm not going to tell you what I thought of this one. This is a book you've probably heard of, you probably know, but it is about the Greek hero Achilles and his best friend Patroclus, and the two of them forming their relationship and heading off to Troy. And it is an emotional book. It is a well-written book. It'll make you feel things, and then if you were like me, make you decide to sign up for an extra uni course about the Greek hero, which actually has made me appreciate this book even more. Then I read The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. This is a short story collection that was very popular last year. I don't know how to give a synopsis for a short story collection. They're all about these women who are coming to terms with their religion, or I don't know, that doesn't even quite cover it. I don't know how to describe what these short stories are about. There is a little bit of religion there, but it's not like super in your face or anything. It's just like an element that connects them. It was interesting. Then I read Avatar: The Last Airbender, Team Avatar Tales, which is kind of like short stories from during, I think it's all set during the actual show, or most of them are set during the show. These were good. These were cool. I haven't really got much to say about them. Like, they're good, they're fun. Nothing particularly impactful or crazy with these ones. Although the art style was cool, it kind of changed between the different comics, which I thought was awesome. Then I finally got around to reading Malibu Rising, which is the story of Mick Reaver's children. And if you've read any Taylor Jenkins Reid, you'll know who Mick Reaver is. He has 4 children, and this book follows them for one day as they prepare for this big party they throw every summer. And it also explores the relationship between Mick and their mother. And it's a very interesting, very cool psychological book. I think if you enjoy other books by her, you'll really enjoy this one. It is a little bit more all over the place than some of her other books. It feels a bit more like Daisy Jones and the Six. It's just not interview format, but it does that thing where it's following lots and lots of characters. Then I read Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Promise, which is the first of the main books set after the events of the show. This was really cool. It's kind of about how Zuko makes Aang promise that if Zuko starts acting like his father, that Aang will kill him. Which, not a good plan, because that's up for interpretation. And it's just, about them trying to figure out how to restore peace while suddenly realizing that there are people from the Fire Nation who've been living in the Earth Kingdom for, 100 years, and you can't just kick them all out and there'd be no consequence for that. Then I read Biased: Uncovering the Hidden Prejudice That Shapes What We See, Think and Do. This is a very powerful non-fiction book. It reminded me quite a lot of Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson, which was one of my favourite books of last year. And the author does actually mention him and his project in this book. This is very, very powerful. It makes you think about where bias comes from, because I think everyone is quite quick to judge other people's biases without considering where it comes from, and that a lot of the behavior is learnt from different situations, including, someone's job might impact how they think because of what they hear all the time. So it's a very impactful book. Cannot give this a star rating. That just, it seems weird for this book. But if you're interested in that, if you think you're interested in this book, definitely give it a shot. Then I read Herbal Magic, a handbook to natural spells, charms, and potions. This was a really cool book. I'm not going to talk about it too much. If you're into this kind of thing, you probably will enjoy it. If not, you won't. And the final book I read this month was Ariadne. Not going to tell you what I thought about this book. You're going to have to wait until my next video or the video after. You'll see. You'll know it when you see it. This is a retelling that's kind of about the myth of Theseus and the Minotaur, but it's mostly about Ariadne and her younger sister, whose name I cannot pronounce, and I kind of wish I'd listened to the audiobook just so I could learn how to pronounce it. But it's about what happens when Ariadne is left after the situation with Theseus. And that's all I'm going to tell you. You have to wait to find out more. Okay, so that is it for this video. Those are all the books I read this month. Let me know what your favorite books of the month were down below, and I will see you next time. Bye.